We've got an amazing week one quarterback matchup as Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings fly over to New York to take on Daniel Jones and the Giants here. Probably one of the best quarterback matchups we will experience all season. Obviously, I'm joking. It's just fun just to kind of make fun of these fan bases because it's both sides are just ragging on their quarterbacks, which is just in their quarterback situation, which always cracks me up. We're going to break down this game between the Vikings and the Giants week one game. But before we get into that, go ahead and subscribe to the Tracy Take. And while you're at it, leave a like and a comment as well to let us know who you think is going to win this game and what the final score will be. Ryan, I know it's fun just to just kind of make jokes about these organizations as well, especially too as a Falcons fan, where I got the former Vikings quarterback now as the starting quarterback of my team. So I'm sure they'll come back and bite me in the ass eventually. So, but what do you think kind of both these organizations here? Which one do you think is in a more dire quarterback situation here, and how both teams can kind of work their way around it to maybe have a serviceable season?
I mean, I think the Minnesota Vikings situation is a to be determined in terms of how dire it is, because the quarterback that was most likely going to win their starting job, and JJ McCarthy tore his meniscus and is out for the rest of the season. So that is unfortunate there. Sam Darnold was in that competition, though. From what I'd heard, it was a close competition. So he had been playing decently well. They do have a pretty solid receiver room over in Minnesota also. So I think utilizing that, Kevin O'Connell does a really good job at scheming up plays, and he is known to be a good quarterbacks coach as well. So I think looking at that, I think this Minnesota Vikings offense has some hope. And then also Justin Jefferson, or not just Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw is a pretty good young left tackle. This offensive line hasn't been horrible the rest of the way through at the guards and the right tackle spot. But I am a little worried about this defense. Last year, they sent an unprecedented over 60% blitz rate. And to me, that just screams they don't have the defensive talent to really compete. So they're just, all right, you have 2.5 seconds to make a decision. And if you are able to make a decision, it's probably a good one. If not, you're going to be sacked. And so
it's a great strategy. That's where.
I mean, if it worked, I think, for a large majority of teams, or against a large majority of teams. But I just look, they were able to sign Stephon Gilmore. They did draft Kyrie Jackson, who unfortunately passed away this offseason in a car accident. So obviously can't really predict that. But then I believe, was it Andrew Booth Jr., who is on IR?
Yeah, they did get. You might have just
Mekhi Blackman is on IR. Yeah, Andrew Booth Jr. is not. But so that's a young corner that is going to be missed as well. So all in all, I think this is just going to be a young defense that's going to struggle, and it'll be what it'll be. Looking on the flip side of things, though, if you've watched Hard Knocks, you know how Joe Schoen feels about Daniel Jones. He tried to trade up with Washington and New England and was not able to. And they kind of just rolled with. He said, "Then we'll just roll with Daniel Jones for this year and see how it goes." And I think that is exactly how Giants fans feel. I will say they have done a pretty good job of surrounding him with weapons. You look at the speed of this wide receiver room: Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, Bryce Ford Wheaton ran a 4.35. Darius Slayton is very quick himself. So they've done a good job of assembling a very talented wide receiver room. We'll see how it translates onto the field. Brian Dabble can definitely scheme some of those guys open, but hopefully this offensive line as well is a little bit more consistent. They struggled a lot with injuries last year. Andrew Thomas is coming back. They did sign Jermaine Illuminor, who looks like he's slotted in to start at right tackle. And John Michael Schmitz is going to be the center there. And this defense, they drafted Deontay Banks in the first round in 2023. They went out. Kayvon Thibodeau got a new running mate in Brian Burns. They already have Dexter Lawrence in the middle. So this is a pretty talented defense, and they actually were playing very well at the end of 2023 as well.
Yeah. It's. I think you broke down pretty well there. It's because to me, there's probably going to be more skill position firepower on the Viking side, but I think overall as the team, I think the New York Giants team might be able to cover it a little bit more for some of the quarterback deficiencies. This Giants defense at the end of last year was clicking. They were playing really well, and they were able to keep themselves in a lot of games. And not to sell the Giants skill position player short, because as you said, there's still a lot of speed there. But I think there's maybe some more potential for maybe Daniel Jones to figure it out, and also too maybe with a little bit better offensive line compared to last year. But with the Vikings, I think there's definitely some bigger question marks overall on just how Sam Darnold's going to be able to maybe help lift this team, or how the team can help lift Sam Darnold. So let's quickly look at the betting markets here to kind of get an idea of who's favored in this matchup here. If you like to put a couple bucks down on the games or on any games, so to say, check out the link in the description box. BetUS has a bunch of great promotions going on right now for first-time players. And so be sure to click on that link, and then you can also check out the betting odds that we're looking at right now here. As of the recording of this video, the Vikings are 1-point favorites on the road with the over-under at 41.5. I will say that is a little bit surprising to me. I will say I think Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are going to be able to get their fair share of licks in this matchup. But T.J. Hawkinson's on IR. They do have Aaron Jones now as a running back. KJ Osborne has moved on, and I only say that just because he was a really good number 3 receiver. And so let me actually quickly look here. Who is there?
Jalen Naylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is their other receiver. So they've lost T.J. Hawkinson and then KJ Osborne. They're number 3 and number 4 pass catchers, which I think is going to be a big loss already for this team. Question marks just overall on the offensive, just how well they're going to run the ball, because I think last year they were 29th running the ball. And to be fair, they didn't really have a running back. Alexander Madison did not really do a good job saying, like, hey, I should be the running back going into the 2024 season. And so now Aaron Jones is a massive improvement there. But I think your point on the defensive side of the ball, I think there's a clear difference between these two defenses. And so Brian Flores, great philosophy. I love the almost kamikaze style. You know, you've got 2.5 seconds to throw it, or we're going to sack you because we're just going to send more guys and you can block. While on the flip side, I think the Giants defense led by Kayvon Thibodeau, and then they even did do a good job of continuing to improve that offensive line, getting Dante Banks, and they drafted Drew Phillips last year as well, and then they have Adoree Jackson also, and several other guys too as well. Drafted Tyler Newman also, who is currently slated as the second string safety as of right now, but still really good depth. I think there's more ways the Giants can win this game and can help out and build Daniel Jones than I think on the flip side for the Vikings. So I will say, kind of going into this, I'm going to be picking the Giants in this one here, actually at home. Because really, the way I could see it is Justin Jefferson's going to have to somehow break off a couple of long touchdown runs. And I think the Giants might be able to methodically kind of work their way down the field with an improved offensive line, and then also to just hopefully a healthy and clear-minded Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Giants. I think just looking at the rosters, I think the Giants from top to bottom have a much stronger roster. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be one of the best rookie receivers. I don't want to say ever, because I feel like every year now, like CeeDee Lamb had a great rookie year, Justin Jefferson had a great rookie year, Puka Nacua had a great rookie year, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have probably a great rookie season if he can stay healthy throughout the whole thing. But he is going to be 1,000-yard receiver. I hope Jalen Hyatt can also take a second-year leap. But I just look at this Giants roster, and I think they've done a really good job of giving Daniel Jones all the opportunity to go and prove that he could be a franchise quarterback. And if not, this is by far his last chance. So I'm going with the Giants. I think the Minnesota Vikings on the flip side are in for a rude awakening, I think, come this year. I think this team, outside of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, does not have a lot of talent on it. And like, I know those guys can make a big difference, but this is going to be a rough season, I think, for them.
Yeah.
So
hey, just imagine Shedeur Sanders stepping back and throwing a deep ball to Justin Jefferson.
Well, they have J.J. McCarthy. He's just out for the year.
Yeah, I think Shedeur Sanders, though. I think they'll take him over J.J. McCarthy, but we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think that's going to wrap up this episode here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Minnesota Vikings? Will it be the New York Giants? None of that. We'll see you guys next time.